Ever wonder how someone builds a fast-growing firm while raising a bunch of little kids, running a team, and keeping a marriage together with a spouse who's often in the air? Well, over here, we're doing that times 2. Today, Caitlynn and I are pulling back the curtain. We're talking about what it really looks like to grow Prospera, lead a team, manage our homes, and still have the capacity for the people that matter the most in our lives. The serious stuff, the systems we swear by, and the caffeine that makes it all possible. All right. Welcome to Unfiltered Profit. I am excited to dive into this topic because I saw a LinkedIn post that was talking about this same thing recently. And I was like, man, it's nice when people pull back the curtain. And you and I have both talked about how we're like, where are the women that are building these firms while their husbands also have jobs that are very busy? Like, where are those role models? And we're still looking for them, to be honest. Yeah. But that's okay. We're going to pull back the curtain and share so that maybe it's helpful for someone else. And not that you have to be a mom or a woman for this to help you. Just be a busy person running a business. And I think this will be helpful.
Yeah. And I mean, forgive us one if it's a little long, because I think we do have a lot to say about some of this. And then there is just, well, yes, it applies to any business person. You don't have to be a mom. I think there is just something different in the expectations of women in a household and balancing that with all of the other things that, whether it's even just internalized guilt that maybe society told us we should have, that men don't necessarily experience. And honestly, you will find plenty of men out there telling you how they have their 5 a.m. routines and they run their busy lives and they can make it all happen because, you know, they work on a 24-hour cycle. So kudos to them. Wonderful. Right. We are not them. So this is from how our life works.
Yes. So first, we have a background episode that talks about us, but we're going to just give like the brief life setup of us.
Yes.
So, Caitlynn, you explained you.
Yeah. 5 kids. They're all under 10. We have a set of twins in there, not multiple, one. And my husband is a traditional guardsman with the Air National Guard, and he has contract work where he is flying. So when he is in the air, I get the school calls because, well, frankly, he can't answer.
Yep. And I have 2 kids, a 3-year-old and as we're recording this, almost 6-month-old. So in the thick of the little kid life over here. And my husband is an airline pilot for United, and he also is a traditional reservist with the Air Force Reserves. So no longer active duty, but he has gone about 50% of the time. And when he's gone, I am here doing all the things, all the bedtimes and things.
Yep. It just becomes that like solo parenting role. And again, I'll never say that it's a single parent. We do blessedly have the income of what they do benefit from their work. But there is that solo parenting. There's that disruption in life, constant kind of changing routines, especially for you.
No set schedule at all. No set schedule.
Oh, we are grateful at this point in time, but we still, I think forever until we're fully out, we'll have it looming over us that at any time this can change. At any time he can be activated, your husband can be activated, and suddenly it looks a heck of a lot different. So that's why we kind of had to choose to build our way. And you'll know that like I came from corporate when we had our twins. I decided to build my way. And then Seanna had kind of experienced something similar school PhD wise and also decided that like, heck, we're going to do this and we're going to make it work for us.
Yep. For us, our families, all of that.
So take what applies, leave the rest. Let us know what works for you. But what does it look like to merge and start running a firm that we're aiming to double in 2 years?
Yeah, that feels crazy to hear because sometimes, I mean, I think in the middle of it, you're like, we're standing still. Like, we're exactly the same. And it's like, we're not. And it's like, candidly speaking, we're going to have a year where we have like 20% growth at least, probably, if not more. And we're scaling fast. We're growing the team. Yep. There is a lot going on in the business, and there's a lot going on in our personal lives. I'll talk a little bit about the business side of things, just like where Prospera stands today. And then we'll talk about how we actually make that work a little bit more. But we're having to focus very much in the business on building the right systems because we value customer service above everything. And so even Caitlynn last week had a conversation with me that's like, Seanna, something's going to have to give. Like, here are the big things that we have going on in the world of Prospera. The client service can't fall. So what's going to flex? And it's like, thank you for phrasing it that way, because as I sometimes say, like, I needed that slap in the face. Not that Caitlynn ever means it that way, but it's like, wake up, Seanna.
Because I've heard in personal life defining like glass balls and rubber balls, but I think in the business, we have to do the same. And we have to say, hey, these are the glass balls that we cannot drop. We have 5 people currently, soon to be 6, that we can pick from to hold that glass ball, but it has to be held.
Yes.
And then what are those rubber ones that they'll fall, they'll bounce back up. And when we have a spare hand, we will grab it and go again.
Yeah, I love that metaphor. That's perfect. And so we're very focused on the systems, and we're also focused on figuring out how to grow ourselves as leaders. You know, that is not something that can be ignored. And I think that's one of the things that happens when clients come to us. They realize they're like, hey, I've grown this thing and the financials are overwhelming me because I never learned that aspect of it, but I need to pay more attention. It's like, yeah, you do. You're the business owner. And for us, it's like, we're scaling a team and now we need to learn people management and how to build the culture that, like, we have a very good idea of the culture we want to have in our company, but that has to be very intentionally created. We're not just going to hope and pray it into existence. And so we're having to put our money where our mouth is and learn some stuff there.
Yeah, the analogy used with me yesterday is like, we're kind of on a cruise ship. And I think Seanna might agree that right now we're just angled off. Mm-hmm. But there are some companies that don't realize until they have to make a full U-turn of that cruise ship that they're in the wrong direction. And so I'm very grateful that we're self-aware enough to be like, we haven't done this. Because we both were like, we're never going to have employees in this big company. Like, that's not us. So we didn't do that studying. We did the studying of how to run solo firms and how to make lean work. And now we're like, oh, we kind of need to learn the other piece. Happy to learn it. But I want to do it quickly. So we're going to bring in professionals to help us get there faster. Because everything's happening fast.
Everything is happening fast. Yeah. And this is kind of like a boom growth phase where then we will get to like, this is our comfortable operations and we're going to run that thing. So this isn't the pace we're going to continue forever, but we've set some big goals and we're running after those goals. And I think probably more than anything, this podcast is like, hey, you can have little kids and still chase big goals, but it's got to look different than someone that doesn't have little kids or has a spouse that stays home with and manages the kids full time. Like, we're not holding back on our goals, but we are being realistic about it. And then also putting systems in place that help us stay within our values. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not working 80-hour weeks and have no intention of it.
Right. And I think some of it is that hopefully you can see from our story that things have opened up to allow us to go a little bit faster right now that weren't there the last 6 years, 7 years while we were both in our own firms, that we did move a little slower because that was what life had available. And so I think part of going fast is that we just simply have the opportunity right now and we're not going to waste that. Our husbands have transitioned. We've kind of changed up some of our other life parts. And we know that it changes fast. Like, life can change fast. So let's take advantage of this space that we have now to go a little bit quicker, a little bit more, knowing that in a couple of years, hopefully, again, we'll scale back a little bit or we're at least ready for those other changes. But this is one of those, like, it might look in 2 years like this was overnight success. This was 10 years of work by the time we get there.
Yes. And Caitlynn and I talked about this last December when we were talking about merging, but it's like, these stars aligned when they were supposed to for us to merge, because our firms, even 6 months prior, would have looked different. Our mindsets looked different. It was just that, like, at the point that we got serious about the conversation, everything was ready for us. It was like we had been grooming the business and grooming ourselves for those years. Yep. To get to that point. And so it's not, it's been a lot of pain and wrong turns and wasted money and all those things that come with growing a business. And you got to learn them. Some people get there faster, but
I tend to think those people probably don't have kids or husbands. And like, there's just all these circumstances that look different. So your life is going to look different than ours. But I think it's so important to just share and make you aware that behind the scenes, what you don't see are all of these other systems and people who are helping us. And I think the biggest is childcare. I think
Childcare.
for me, it was admitting that I needed it. My kids were all different. And with my girls, I could work with them around. With my boys, that changed drastically. I suddenly actually needed childcare. And that was hard because I was balancing this like image of social media where women were running multi-six-figure businesses with no childcare at all, ever, on nap times and bedtimes. But I was going to burn out. So we had to find great childcare in a system that works. For me, that's a sitter who comes 4 hours in the morning to play with the kids and hang out with them. And then they nap for 2 hours. Well, the baby does. And the rest are in school. We made the decision to put the 5-year-old in pre-K full time, which was not our initial plan, but something had to give. And so that was the piece that he was going to go and he would be fully entertained and happy and great. And I would get a full day.
Yeah, the childcare piece is so important. And I'm happy for those people that choose. And that's the thing, it's like, it's all a choice. This is not a judgment. But with my husband's schedule and everything else, like, I don't want to work after the kids go to bed. And my husband doesn't want me to either. Like, that's just not within our values and what we wanted. And that meant that once my oldest turned almost 1, she was starting to get to that point where just laying on the floor and playing in my office was not enough entertainment for her. Or she was like too noisy, like couldn't be on client call, like all that kind of stuff. And she wasn't napping as regularly. I couldn't plan around those things. And it's like childcare had to enter the situation. And so I have a part-time nanny that comes and takes care of the kids about 3 days a week. And then my husband, when he's home from flying, he takes the kids for some of the other hours where I'm working. And that works really well for me. I lucked into finding a nanny that is literally the reincarnation of Mary Poppins. She's British. She has a Mary Poppins sticker on the back of her car. Like, she plans all these art projects, and I am not an arty mom that's like going to do that kind of stuff. I had to ixnay that glitter though, because we are not
in this house. That's what Mimi's house is for, in our house.
Yeah, exactly. That's what outside is for, like any of that, but not my dining room table.
Right. And if you need the permission, look at the strengths, right? So her strengths are that. Our sitter's same, or like daycare, pre-K. I am not the artsy mom either. Please go paint at school where they want to do that with you. And I want you to have that experience. Yeah. And so if you're feeling that guilt, I highly recommend you look at like the strengths of the people you're bringing in to complement you. That we really say kids aren't supposed to be raised by one person, 2 people. It's supposed to be a tribe, because we're not all the same.
Yeah. And you shouldn't feel bad for not having that. Like, some people do really love researching those types of art projects and pulling all the materials together for their kids. My brain was never made that way. Like, it just wasn't. But am I excited to teach my daughter math and all sorts of other types of things, how to build stuff, use tools? Absolutely. Yep. And other people might not be excited about that. Like, we're all different. Don't let social media shame you as a mom. If it is, unfollow those people. Because, like, if you're feeling bad after looking at someone's content, unfollow them. Like, don't allow them, as T Swift reminded everybody, like, they don't deserve that space in your brain. They're not paying enough money to live there.
Protect your peace. And that comes from all aspects, from your business, from your personal life, your marriage, having those boundaries. But just knowing that what you're doing is going to be unique. We are not all built the same. We are not all Elon Musk or Zuckerberg, or I can never remember his name. Bezos. There we go.
Oh,
yeah. I'll get there. And if you noticed, I named a lot of them in because they had the support of someone at home to do the other pieces. And if you don't have that, then you're hiring it out. So make sure that you're charging appropriately so you can afford to hire that out.
Yes.
Because there just becomes that time. You're either going to hire in the business, or you're going to hire the childcare at some point, or the school. Like, they're just that ebb and flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
The other vital piece we'll get into is on top of childcare. So you're aligning your schedules with your childcare. You're aligning your schedules with your partner, with our husbands. And especially for me, that part is vital because we don't have a routine. We don't have a schedule. He works a lot of weekends, a lot of random times, a lot of holidays. And so we are trying very hard to have certain times. And unfortunately for me, they end up being in the middle of the week where it's like, here's some intentional family time because he's home. And so I have to plan very carefully in order to reserve those spots for the people that matter most in my life. And that means pushing the business stuff to other hours or other days or whatever that looks like. But if we didn't sit down and have that meeting once a month where it's like, where are your flights? Let's put those on the calendar so I can schedule some blocks so no one books with me, all that kind of fun stuff. Like, it's not a sexy conversation, but it's much needed.
Yeah, otherwise, I mean, time just escapes. And before you know it, yeah, we may have built this amazing business, but then the marriage is in shambles because you didn't spend time together. The kids are unfulfilled because we're running too fast. And so that sometimes means we say no to growth that just doesn't fit right now.
Absolutely.
That is not easy because bookkeeping, accounting, it is not something that people go on a wait list for and come back. If they need help kind of now.
Yeah.
We might be able to push them off a month or two, but that's not something that they'll be like in 6 months when we're like, okay, we're ready again. They're going to come flying back. So it is a delicate dance with always keeping those values first, both personally and in the business.
Yeah. But I think that's where it's been really nice to have a partner because we remind each other of that. Like, I'm not going to let you work those crazy hours. Like, don't break that routine. Have that time off, rest, recover, because neither of us are any good burnt out.
No.
You know, doesn't serve either us well, the company well. And so we have to hold those values as very important and honor them.
Yep. And we respect them in our team too. So it's not like we're asking our team to work 60 hours so that we can work 20. We do respect that, like, they also are juggling the same stuff we are. And so it is very intentional how we are trying to build this, and a little bit against the grain of, I think, what people would tell you like a traditional successful business looks like. Because there's just so much. This is a part of us, and it's a big part. We love this part. It's just not the only part.
Yep.
So what are some like support systems that you love, probably more in the home, to help keep everything running so that you can kind of show up in the business? Because we did another episode on like our business systems.
Yeah. So my number one is the Skylight calendar, which I know you also have one. And I was one of those people that was getting all these targeted ads, and these like influencers were sharing their Skylight calendar. And I'm like, is this thing legit? But it kept like living rent free in my brain. And I'm like, all right, Costco has one. Costco has an amazing return policy. If Costco's selling it, it's probably got to be pretty decent. I'm going to check it out. And it lives down in our kitchen where the nanny can see it. And she actually has access to the app. So when I fill in her hours for like the next month, because we flex that also around my husband's schedule, that she can see it, like tell us which ones work, which ones don't. People can see when I'm supposed to be in meetings. Not that they ever check that. Let's be honest. They don't check it. It's like, what do you have going on today?
Okay,
it's
you
on
need
the calendar.
7 and 10-year-olds. They are nosy. And I get the, Mom, what's this meeting? What's this meeting? What's this mean? I was like, will you stop looking at my calendar? No, it's on the shared calendar. So ask me. So
Yeah.
they're just not
When
nosy
Brooke
enough
can read, I'm sure like she will get to that point. But until then,
no one knows.
it's like, what do you have going on today? It's on the calendar. But the other piece, and this part lands heavily on me because I am the chef of the family. And someone asked me, they're like, well, why don't you just have your husband cook? And I'm like, because when you have taste, ain't nothing else going to satisfy. Like, no, fajita seasoning is not the only seasoning we put on things. Fajita seasoning does not go with soy sauce. Like, oh my God. Anyway.
So to make sure the children eat and you eat.
Yeah. Yes. I used to like live on a Pinterest board where they kept all my recipes, and then, hello, Skylight, I send all those recipes over. I have my recipe box now, my meal plan, prep for the week. And now my husband, if I like am in a meeting late, it's like he can get dinner started because the recipe lives there. He can click it, and he has done those pieces of it, which is very helpful to like get the prep work started, thaw the chicken, whatever. And I know this is like very nuanced, but food is such a time suck in life. And I know that like if people are in other countries and that have like different culture around food, they'll be like, that's such an American thing to say. Like, I know it is. If I could take a pill to satisfy like my nutritional needs, and then the food was just extra that I had to go work off, like, because I felt like indulging, I would do that, because the amount of like meal planning, then grocery shopping, all of that.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Like, all the different tastes as the kids get older and have preferences. And for me, it's emotionally exhausting to prepare something and to have like 4 of my 5 kids be like, I don't like it. And they haven't even tried it. Like, it's just put in front of them. And you're like, you ate it last week. So the Skylight calendar is key. For me, I offloaded, delegated all of that meal piece to Josh. So now that he's steadily home, it is now his thing. So we keep like a shared note, because I still haven't formally moved to Skylight on the meal part, but we keep a shared note. We plan out our meals. He does the grocery orders, runs to Costco if we need it. And then it's kind of
talk about that piece too, the grocery ordering, because ain't nobody got time to go to a grocery store. Not with 5 kids, not with 2 kids, not alone, not for me and the dog when they could deliver it.
I think it was fairly new when I had the twins. Josh deployed when they were 7 weeks old, and I found out that our local grocery would let me online mobile app, and they would bring it to my car, and it was dead of winter. So I was like, oh, you mean I don't have to take an 8-week-old twins and a like 2.5-year-old into the store? Done. And so I have been using it ever since. So I'd be like 8 years now. It is life-saving. I'm sure I pay a little bit more in a premium, but
absolutely
fine.
And the produce isn't exactly what I would have picked, but it's the price we pay, and I'm okay with that. It's worth
so
it.
much better that way.
It is.
Because it just stacks, right? So we talk about habit stacking and stuff, and suddenly I can just stack picking up my groceries on top of the other things we're doing and plan my day a little bit smarter. At this point, Josh just plans it, which is great. But I know Skylight will like fully do it. They will pull the ingredients into Instacart, and then like you can have it delivered.
See, then I don't trust that, because then it's like, if it calls for soy sauce, I already have it at home.
Yes,
I don't know why I'm keying on the soy sauce.
But I think you can tell Skylight to like fully make your grocery order, and then you can go press send. So they've gotten smart with what they do. So if you're like super busy, highly recommend.
Yeah, that is really cool. But yeah, we pay for grocery delivery. Again, places in our budget that if I was looking to cut things out, I could, but when it's on my front doorstep and that's literally all I have to do is walk out there and grab the groceries.
Do it.
Yeah. Time saver. But you've got to find those hacks. Otherwise, we would be eating canned food all the time. And we eat a ton of fresh food. I mean, we have little kids. It's like fruit times 1,000. Like the fruit bill is insane. And that's only one of them that can eat right now.
Right. And it's amazing. I mean, one of mine can eat like a Costco size of like blackberries in a sitting. And I was like, well, there goes that $7 thing. And they're not full. That's the problem. They're not full when they're done.
Yes.
They kill me. We hire cleaning help. I don't know if you do the same, but I do. And for a long time, I've had a cleaner come in to do the biweekly clean. One, because it makes us tidy up, because we are required to tidy up before she comes. So at least every 2 weeks, I know that we're like going through all of the clutter and like tossing what needs to be going and finally getting it back to its home.
Yeah.
Making the kids clean their room, which I fall, like they have it on their task list on the Skylight, but we're 50-50 on following through. And so this is like a mandated, like pull everything out, put it away, because someone is coming to do this for us. And for like 2 hours, I have a very nice clean house.
We don't have someone that comes and cleans yet. It's definitely one of those things that I see down the road, but we have some like tidying rituals. So there's the like post kids bedtime, pick up and get the house back straight. The dishwasher runs every night. The bottle washer runs and bottles are made and all, like just all that kind of stuff. And I also got influenced into a vacuum mop thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't remember the name of it right this second, but running that thing. So I'm in Florida, like there is always sand. I don't know where it comes from. We have grass in our yard, but there's sand everywhere. And so running that thing saves me 100%. And kudos.
Is it
to
like
our
the
nanny.
robot ones, like the Roomba type
No,
ones?
it's the one that all the influencers
Got
that
it. Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking
something.
about. We have the robot one because we have all the same hardwood floors, so I run that
Yeah.
at night usually just to make up for the fact that we did not vacuum during the day.
Yeah, I get that. And the other thing for me, though, the nanny does a lot of that kind of housework. Like she'll unload the dishwasher, load it back, fold the clothes that are clean. And so there's just a lot of help that comes with that. It's not like a requirement of her, but she does it to be kind. And man, it's a lifesaver.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful because 3 of our kids are old enough that they have responsibility for like folding their laundry. To me, if you want to stuff that in the drawer, I don't care. I just don't want to do this anymore. And so I'm very excited as we continue to age up to be like, it's all you. I'll run it through.
Learn how to be an adult.
Fold. If you want wrinkly clothes, then best of luck. I don't care.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's a big piece. At some point, you just have to, again, the rubber and the glass balls. Like, what are you going to really care about? And balancing that with a spouse who probably cares about things differently. Like Josh cares about the clothes being folded and put away nicely. I was like, then that's your battle, not mine.
Problem is I am that person. I am the one that's like, really, that's how you chose to load the dishwasher? Interesting. Really, that's how you fold shirts? Wild.
And then I am your husband because, yes, I have been trained over many years. I can load a dishwasher a lot better. I can fold the towels how it is preferred. But I will say, and like in the brain space, I was like, why does this take up the brain space? Like, what does it matter? Run the dishwasher twice. It doesn't matter. It's my word.
Jeff just, I think at this point, refuses to fold the towels the way I think they should be folded. He's like, I can't learn that. And I'm like, that's okay. I can't learn how to program a thermostat. I can. I don't want to. It's just one of those things that, as capable as I am, I refuse to. I'm like, change it. Peasant. That's a joke. My husband and I are very much partners in life and everything.
I love it.
The other household thing that deserves the top spot, not above the nanny, but above everything else, my espresso machine. Philip, his name is Philip. I don't name appliances, but he is a named appliance because we're not creative. I am the person that had a white cat named her Snowball and a yellow cat and named it Butter. Philip is named after the fact that he is a Philips brand espresso machine.
I mean, we are accountants. We have flat out admitted we don't name things. It's not our strong suit.
Yeah, but let's be real. I cannot live without the caffeine.
Yep. We are drip coffee folks over here because of the quantity. Like, I'd be a little scared if we drank the equivalent quantity in espresso. Like Josh and I each
all the
drink a pot if we wanted to. Yeah. We'll make 2 pots a day, and our pots are 10 cups, I think. I think it's a 10-cup pot. And we will go through 2 a day.
I feel that.
And I stay home, so it's mostly me. I'll take what he can to work, but it is. We're trying to find a replacement because it's not an expensive one. And I'm stuck on trying to find a 12 one because I was like, oh, if we get a smaller one, we're going to have to do it even more.
Yeah. Nope. Don't have time for that.
Coffee machines. I did buy a percolator. I'm planning to put in our bedroom because Josh and I have said forever, like, we just want coffee in our bedroom so that we can get going. So I'm going to try an electric percolator.
And then kids won't hear it.
Right. And maybe won't think we're up.
Coffee. Yeah, exactly.
And it's
real. Yes.
But yes. I think another piece that we've built all this is picking clients who fit well and letting go of clients who don't. I think in my signatures on my emails, I try to be very upfront that currently I try not to work Fridays and we have limited days. And because I sent this earlier or late, I don't expect you to respond. And I think when clients receive that well, it helps. It helps sets the expectation. But I think having clients who are real people who also have similar conflicts going on in their life has helped.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's awesome that I've had so many conversations lately where it's like, I just love our clients, you know, and that is a good feeling. And let's be real, like there are always going to be like thorn in the side moments in business. But when you can sit back and go like, I really feel appreciated and I really love our clients. Like they're just good people. You're like, that's awesome. Like we're doing something good here.
Yep. And yeah, I honestly just don't know how we would keep it if we had clients who I think operated either old school or kind of traditionally with like, we expect this right away and everything's an emergency. Like it just wouldn't last long when you're trying to balance all of the things, because most of us will argue there's not many accounting emergencies. So if it got that far, something else is broken. But I think, I just really love to like open up and to work for these folks and to know that if I came to them and said, hey, I need some extra time because a life event has happened, that it would be well received.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of like on that life event piece or holding boundaries, tech tool, we've talked about it recently. I know I sent it out in a newsletter, but Caitlynn and I are both using an app to block our access to work in our off hours so that we stay focused on family. I will admit that last night I figured out that while I had blocked Missive, I did not block my access to my work Gmail, so I could still get to it through the Gmail app because I wanted to check something. And I'm like, no.
Could have to go fix that. I mean, I like don't block the browser or the website. So yes, I still have a way. Because again, on the off chance, like Seanna was to ever text and be like, hey, and I was away from my computer.
Yeah.
But it helps greatly to just be like unreachable and not at weird hours, but like from 3 p.m. for me, because that's when I go pick up the kids, from 3 p.m. on until about 7 p.m. I let it turn back on at 7 p.m. for about an hour. And it's just like that breath of like, I can focus, I can be here with the kids.
Yeah.
And then I can deal with something if something happens. But arguably, if I was trying to handle some kind of emergency and the kids at the same time, like no one's getting good me. So let's just deal with it when I need to. And it has been really nice.
Yeah. Very nice. And like we're building a business where we're trying to keep the first things first. And everything has to flex to that sometimes. Sometimes that's family time. Sometimes that's business. But we're trying hard to stay where we want to stay. And that takes a lot of work to do that because it's very easy in building a business to just like obsess over things and go too far one direction and then burn yourself out and hate everything and want to burn it down.
Yes. We have had fewer of those conversations lately, which is nice.
We have.
Like, let's burn it down.
Yeah.
We can figure it out. We'll get there. We'll hire the people to help us. And I think that's huge of just that self-awareness of what we can do, what we can't do, don't want to do, and how we want to go forward. Yeah. Because we're just, we're not going to sacrifice us as people, our family, in order to build this. We want both. And I think we can put that stake down and say we can have both. And it's going to look different than a lot of other folks.
Yep. Yep. So hopefully this has been, I don't know, real inspirational if you needed that type of inspiration. Because again, we've struggled to find people that are doing that. I know I've had conversations with people before where I'm like, how did you do it? And they're like, I don't know, I'm just not a good mom. And I think they're saying that tongue in cheek. But I was like, I don't want to say that. Like, I never want to joke about that. I want to feel like maybe the business could have gone a little faster, but I still grew it while growing great humans and feeling like a vital part of their life. And hopefully this helps other people feel that way too. Like if we can do it, it might be hard. We have our moments where we're like, I'm done with today, you know, and that's okay to feel that way. We're each other's therapist along with also having therapists.
Right. Yeah. And it's always good to recognize those things. But like at the end of the day, we are not super women. We are intentional. We are making those active trade-offs day to day. And so just know that's the real story. The real story is not we went hard for 60 hours a week and we magically built this thing. It was just a constant. It is a constant. Am I going on that field trip or do I have business calls? And if I do have to take the business calls, then my kids are going to learn about disappointment. And yeah, it sucks, but also that's life. So it doesn't make me a bad mom. So we're working through all of that at the same time you are. So if this hit home for you though, check the show notes. If you want to hear more from us about just how this all works or tools that we're finding that help you, we send those out with our newsletters and then always drop a link to Opal at this point because we just love them and we think that they're great and you can't get around them. For sure, go check that out. And all of that will be in the show notes below. And we thank you guys for listening today.
I want to add one piece there that if you listen to this and you're like, these are my people, I'm building a business too. That's just like this. And I need, like, we're looking essentially to mastermind with people like that. Not anything formal, but if you wanted to have a Zoom call where we talk about how it's hard building a business and doing all these things, like we're looking for that community.
Yes.
Or if you know of that community, shoot us a note because we haven't found it and we would love to have other like-minded people to chat with, to complain to.
Yeah, I'd love to find someone 5-ish years ahead of us.
Yes.
If you guys are listening, if that's you and you're like, hey, I have done this. I'm 5 years ahead of where you are now. Please let me chat. Like, we would love to chat. We would love to learn. We'll buy you a coffee. We value what you have learned. We've just struggled to find that community ourselves. We're making it.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks, everyone.